Good evening to everyone. In a previous class to you, we had discussed about different basics terms of physics like velocity, speed, distance, and displacement, and acceleration. All these things we have discussed, which are very important for you in order to kickstart the class 11th physics. So today we'll discuss a very simple and very important topic. As you know, and in class 9 you have already got, that is motion. Along with motion, you will also come to know today about the three very important laws of motion. Those are known as the Newton's laws of motion. Newton's laws of motions are basically three laws of motion there. That means there are three laws of Newton's. First law of Newton's of motion, second law of Newton's law of motion, and third laws of Newton's on the basis of motion. So Newton's first law, Newton's second law, and Newton's third law we'll try to discuss today. But before discussing Newton's first, second, and third law, we should have a concept about the motion. Velocity and speed, you know what is velocity and speed, we have discussed in the previous class. And today I will give a little bit of concept about motion. So what is motion? If somebody asks you, motion is nothing but the change of position from one position to another position. That means if a given body changes its position from a particular point to another particular point, that is called motion. That means suppose a body is standing at X point, and after a couple of time it has changed its position to Y position. That means he has been displaced from X to Y. That is called a motion. That means if a body changes its position, then that particular phenomena will consider as motion. I repeat, the changes of position of a body, that is motion. There are several types of motion you will find: circular motion, linear motion, uniform motion, non-uniform motion, all these things. Circular motions you will study in the class 11 very briefly, and you will come to know what is circular motions. But still, from basics point of view, we know that circular motion, if a body performs its motion in a circular track, that particular motion will be known as circular motion shortly. Linear motion, a body must move in a linear track. That means a body must move in a straight road, that is straight line, that is called linear motion. And regarding uniform motion and non-uniform motions, you have already got in the class 9 that if a body travels equal amount of distances, equal amount of time, then this is called linear motion. Uniform motion. I repeat, a body traveling equal amount of distance in equal amount of time. You mark the point, equal distance in equal time, that is called uniform motion. And what is non-uniform motion? Non-uniform motion, if a body performs unequal distances in equal number of time, this is called non-uniform motion. So these are very small things you already come to know. So I repeat, the uniform means the equal distance in equal time. Non-uniform, unequal distance in equal time. So these are the examples of uniform motions and non-uniform motions. So I think you have got a little bit of idea about motion. Now we'll come to discuss about the very, very important and very popular in class 11 physics, that is Newton's laws of motion. As I told you that there are three laws of motion. The first law is Newton's first law of motion. You know what is inertia is called? That means the inertia. The definition of inertia is quite similar to the first Newton's laws of motion. So if I start this topic by discussing about inertia, so it will be very easy for you to understand what is Newton's first law is. Suppose there is a body. That means I am taking there is a body. This is a body. Here this is a body, and right now this body is at rest position. rest position means the velocity of this particular body is going to be 0. The velocity of this particular body is 0. This is called a rest position. That means if the velocity of a body at a particular instant of time is 0, velocity is 0, then this particular position is called rest position. So this is rest positions right now. Now this body will have a tendency to be at rest position. That means this body will not move. That means the velocity of this body will remain 0 unless you are not applying any external forces over this body. That means if I apply from this side, suppose I am applying from here an external force. I am applying an external force to this body. Since this body was previously in rest position, that means the velocity of the body was 0, and we have applied an external force from this side or this side. What will happen? This body will start moving this way. This body will start moving this way. That means previously this body was at suppose A point. Finally this body has moved to B point. The reason is very simple, because I have applied an external force in the form of Fext. Fext here is external force. Previously this body was at rest position, velocity was 0, and when I have applied an external force over this body, and this body has moved to A to B position. In this point, during this phenomenon, the velocity of the body is not 0. Now you can have an idea. You will have an idea that in this point the velocity was 0, and when an external force is applied, this body has got a velocity, some velocity is gained. That means it has changed its position. But if you would have not applied this particular force, this body would remain in the same position. Suppose one more situation. Suppose this body is in motion. This is a body. This body right now velocity is not 0. The velocity of this body is not 0 means the body is clearly moving. The velocity of this body is not 0 means the body is clearly moving. Suppose this body is moving somewhere this direction. This body is moving. Now if you applied an external force from this direction, then this body will stop. That means at a particular time this body velocity will become v is equal to 0. So this body was at rest position. Once you applied an external force Fext, this body starts moving. That means the rest position has been changed. The second is this body was moving somewhere. That means velocity was not 0, and you have applied a force from this direction. That means this body will now stop. How you come to know that body will stop? Since the velocity is going to be 0. That means we can come to a clear confirmation that a body at rest will be at rest. A body in motion will continue its motion unless no external force is applied on the body. This is the Newton's first law of motion. I repeat, a body in motion will be in motion or will continue its motion. A body at rest will be at rest unless there is no external force is going to applied on that body. That means if we are not applying any external forces to a body that is at rest, it will be at rest. If we are not applying any external forces to a body that is in motion, it will be in motion. So this is the Newton's first law concept. That means a body will move. If it was in a rest position, you have to apply external force. A body will stop when it was in motion if there is an external force is applied. This is all about Newton's first law. And I must say that there is a similarity between the inertia and Newton's first laws of motion. Now let's come back to the second laws of Newton. What is second laws of Newton? As you all know, the linear momentum. In the previous classes, I told you that what is linear momentum for you. Linear momentum is nothing but is the product of mass of the object and velocity of the object. That is expressed as P is equal to mv. This is linear momentum. And how we can establish the relation between linear momentum and force, external force, this you will come to know in the Newton's second law part. So better you write Newton's second law. I hope the Newton's first law is somewhere you have understood. Newton's second law, from Newton's second law we can also execute the definitions of force. F is equal to ma. Newton's second law mathematically expresses F is equal to ma. You please remember, this is a very important formula, that is F, linear force, is equal to ma, product of mass and accelerations of the particular instant. So Newton's second law, if I tell you, as I told you that there is a strict relation, and Newton's second law, once we have to get the Newton's second law, so we have to understand what is external force and what is linear momentum. So according to Newton's second law, the rate of change of linear momentum is directly proportional to the applied external force, and this force is this external force will apply, that is going to be directly proportional to applied external rate of change of linear momentum. That means you will write simply about Newton's second law that the rate of change of linear momentum is directly proportional to external force, and this happens in the directions of the force applied, and it happens in the directions of the external force applied. So mathematically, if we want to calculate, as I earlier told you, that the Newton's second law is also expressed as F is equal to ma. That means from Newton's second law, we can execute F is equal to ma. Hence, we can find the definitions of force also. That is F is equal to ma. So let's prove this particular equation, that is F is equal to ma. That means Newton's second law will tell you F is equal to ma. Very, very important one. This is F is equal to ma. This is according to Newton's second law. So if you want to prove this particular equation, that is F is equal to ma, so as I told you that the rate of change of linear momentum is directly proportional to applied external force. So let's write this mathematically. So if we want to write this mathematically, it becomes, suppose let's consider F is the applied external force. F is the applied external force, and this external force is going to be the change. This force will be directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum. This is dp by dt. dp by dt, that means dp, this is dp upon dt. Anything you divide by time, this will become the rate of change of that particular instant. That is dp upon dt. That is the rate of change of linear momentum. We know that p is equal to mv. P is the linear momentum. So if we do further these things, F is directly proportional to d by dt of this is p. P means linear momentum, and I told you in the previous class what does p means for us. The p means the linear momentum is mv. P is equal to mv, linear momentum mv. So in this case, since the m is constant, remember mass is a constant terms. So constant term is never differentiated. So what will happen? F is equal to m will come over here, and we will find dv upon dt. dv upon dt, you will find it. So F will be directly proportional to m. We know that dv upon dt is equal to a. So this is acceleration. So accelerations can also be written as dv upon dt. This is very important for you. You'll learn these things now gradually in the class 11 when you enter. So this is external force F, that is directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum. So that is F is directly proportional to dp upon dt, and so F is proportional to d by dt of, this is P, P means mv, mass into velocity, linear momentum. Mass will come in here because this differentiation of mathematics you will gradually learn in maths. You should not worry about it. This is completely new for you, so you keep just practicing, all this thing will be clear for you. So this m will come here, this is dv by dt, and dv by dt means a, and now we can make this is F is equal to AMA, where k is a constant and value of k is going to be 1. So if the value of k is 1, this is going to be F is equal to ma. This is Newton's second law, F is equal to ma, and that is how you can prove the Newton's second law in very short format. Finally, let's discuss about Newton's third law of motion. The Newton's third law of motion is very clear. That every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. Suppose the example, the firing of bullet from a gun. If you observe the firing bullet phenomena or systems, what will happen? If a policeman or if an army personnel or if a soldier, when he fires a bullet from its gun, then what happens? Once the bullets goes away from the gun, then bullets give you a back force towards you. Suppose this is the pistol, I am holding it like that. So once I fire it, once this bullet will go away from it, then there is a back force will be produced towards you. This is the example of Newton's third law. And you will better understand the example of catching a ball in cricket. When a fielder catches a ball, suppose this is the ball coming from this direction. Now if I want to catch this ball, I have to pull it like that. If I pull it like that, so it will be in my hand safely. Suppose this ball is coming from this height and I am giving an extra force, I will not able to catch that particular ball. So catching a ball in cricket, firing bullet in the battleground by the pistol, these are the example of Newton's third law of motion. I hope you have cleared these things, Newton's first law, second law, third law. And this was only an introduction to you. Later on when we'll meet, then we'll discuss it very nicely. Thank you so much.